Hey guys, what's up? We have a brand new archetype that will be featured in deck build pack Darksavers, and its general purpose is to swarm and develop advantage. The most interesting part of this is we actually now have a deck based off of pirates. I mean, there are times where we've had pirate-themed cards, such as Skull Mariner, but nothing as such as an entire theme. This shows Konami is thinking of developing their themes better, and as of yet, there are no extra deck monsters featured, showing a new direction for Konami to take, considering their player base that do not like, Master Rule 4, while still being competitive enough to run. We will start with Lafal, hero of the Skyfang Brigade. This is a light dragon level 8, with 2,800 attack and 2,200 defense, and its effect is, you can only use this card's name's first and second effects once per turn each. 1. If this card is special summoned, you can activate this effect, excavate cards from the top of your deck, equal to the number of Skyfang Brigade monsters you control with different names, except Lafal, hero of the Skyfang Brigade. Add one of the excavated cards to your hand, and shuffle the others into the deck. 2. When an opponent's monster effect is activated as a quick effect, you can discard one Skyfang Brigade card, negate that activation. This is the current boss monster of the deck, with a very decent attack stat. It also has two themes that are heavily supported in their own rights. Light, which has very specific support in the form of Honest and other cards, and being a dragon means it can benefit from revival cards and protections from dragon-based cards. With its first effect, you can excavate cards from the top of your deck, so you can see what you will, in a sense, draw into up to the number of Skyfang Brigade monsters you have, and you can choose one of them to add to your hand. This may not seem like much, but there is no restriction to this effect. Nothing like the Sylvans that require you to choose a Sylvan monster, and since they work on swarming, you can pick up to 5 cards in your deck. That is assuming for the first turn a 1 in 7 chance of getting your preferred card, assuming you run one of each card. As for the shuffling, this is a standard effect, but can benefit as sometimes you may have a bricked hand, or your deck, the next few cards you draw are bricked. As for the second effect, this being a quick effect, which can activate during either player's turn, this can stop that effect from working by getting rid of one of your Skyfang Brigade cards. This can stop your opponent from going off, assuming you understand their deck and their key cards. This, even on a weaker monster, would be a powerful effect to keep around, but to deal with this, you will need to remove this as fast as. The next card is Recon Sky Scout of the Skyfang Brigade. This is a Wind Beast level 2 with 1000 attack and 500 defense, and its effect is 1. During a main phase, you can special summon one Skyfang Brigade monster from your hand, except Recon Sky Scout of the Skyfang Brigade. 2. If another Skyfang Brigade monster is special summoned to your field, while this card is already face up, you can target one set card on the field, destroy it. This card has weak stats, so will not last long on the field. But as for the first effect, you're able to bring out any Skyfang Brigade monster, regardless of level. This enables the start of your field swarming, and can benefit the monsters you summon with their other effects. As for the second effect, this is its unique effect, the ability to get rid of a set card. This can be good against defensive decks, or those that run a lot of back row, as if they miss timing or cannot activate at that point, such as battle traps, they will lose their card, and since its first effect triggers its second, provided you can keep this around, this can keep being used. The second effect, also being optional, means you don't have to use it. Some effects are mandatory, so would, if not affecting your opponent, get rid of your card. The next card is Domper, Marksman of the Skyfang Brigade. This is a Wind Beast level 2 with 500 attack and 1000 defense, and its effect is you can only use this card's name's first and second effects once per turn each. 1. During your main phase, you can special summon one Skyfang Brigade monster from your hand, except Donpa, Marksman of the Skyfang Brigade. 2. If another Skyfang Brigade monster is special summoned to your field, while this card is already face up, you can target one face up card on the field, destroy it. This is the same as the previous card, but with its stats reversed. The first effect is the same and enables special summoning without restrictions. By ensuring a decent hand, you can bring out a number of Skyfang monsters in much the same way as pendulum monsters. As for the second effect, this can get rid of a face-up card. This is a better effect than the previous, as your opponent will be running more offensive cards in their deck, so if they have an extra deck monster that took them time to summon, then you can make them waste that effort. This can also get rid of field spells, and if they are running a deck such as Weathery Patterns that rely on their continuous spell and traps, you can disrupt their best plays. Blavo, Fighter of the Skyfang Brigade, is a fire reptile level 4 with 1900 attack and 200 defense, and its effect is you can only use this card's name's first and second effects once per turn each. 1. During your main phase, you can special summon one Skyfang Brigade monster from your hand, except Blavo, Fighter of the Skyfang Brigade. 2. If another Skyfang Brigade monster is special summoned to your field, while this card is already face up, you can activate this effect. All Skyfang Brigade monsters on the field gain 500 attack and defense until the end of this turn. This card has a good attack stat for a level 4 and is a definite staple to be run at 3, if only to be summoned to the field with minimal risk. The first effect to special summon is the same as all the others, but its second effect being unique to it, this provides all Skyfang Brigade monsters with a 500 attack and defense boost for the turn. So if you look at the boss monster, Lethal, this will become 3300 attack, and this card will become 2400 attack. It is a shame that this works only until the end of the turn, as it would be good for at least working until your next turn to provide some protection, but I suppose they need to provide some weaknesses for the deck. Beat, Swordsman of the Skyfang Brigade, is an Earth Warrior level 3 with 1200 attack and 500 defense, and its effect is you can only use this card's first and second effects once per turn each. 1. During your main phase, you can special summon one Skyfang Brigade monster from your hand, except Beat, Swordsman of the Skyfang Brigade. 2. If another Skyfang Brigade monster is special summoned to your field, while this card is already face up, you can add one Skyfang Brigade monster from your deck to your hand, except Beat, Swordsman of the Skyfang Brigade. The attack stat is decent for a level 3, and the first effect is the same as the others. As for the second effect, this card is able to search for one of your other Skyfang Brigade cards. Assuming you can get a full field, you can search for another 4 cards, refueling your hand and preventing you from risk if your opponent has a mass destruction card effect, such as Mirror Force or Raigeki. Wiz, Sage of the Skyfang Brigade, is a water spellcaster level 7 with 1600 attack and 2800 defense, and its effect is you can only use this card's name's first and second effects once per turn each. 1. If this card is special summoned, you gain 500 life points for each Skyfang Brigade monster with a different name you control, except Wiz, Sage of the Skyfang Brigade. 2. When an opponent's spell or trap card is activated, as a quick effect, you can discard one Skyfang Brigade card, negate that activation. This is the defensive card for the deck and acts as a second boss monster, if you're looking to be on the defensive until you draw into what you want. This card does not permit special summoning, but when it is special summoned, you get 500 life points for each differently named Skyfang monster, so at best this is 2500 life points. This is quite unusual for an effect, as outside of life point specific decks such as Arrow Mages that rely on having higher life points to gain further advantage, you don't seem to see many of these effects. This is necessary as this helps to keep you with enough life points to activate any of your solemn cards. As for the second effect, this acts as the opposite of lethal. Whilst that deals with monster effects, this shuts down your opponent's spells and traps during both turns, provided you can keep your hand topped up with Skyfang cards. If you can have both on the field, you can shut your opponent down before they get the chance to play. The final monster is Sagitta, Solitary of the Skyfang Brigade. This is a winged beast level 5 with 1200 attack and 2400 defense, and its effect is you can only use this card name's first effect once per turn. 1. If this card is special summoned, you can inflict 500 damage to your opponent for each Skyfang Brigade monster with a different name you control. 2. Your opponent cannot target Skyfang Brigade monsters you control with effects, except this one. This is another defensive card and acts as the opposite to Wiz, as it inflicts up to 2500 points of burn damage. This is decent, as this can be enough to finish off your opponent, or to put them in a position where they cannot activate some of their cards, or risk having cards on the field that have low attack stats, in the case you attack into them to finish them off. As for the second effect, this card can focus your opponent's card effects, so you can protect your more important and key Skyfang card. Skyfang Brigade Training is a continuous trap card that says you can only use this card's name's first effect once per turn. 1. If a Skyfang Brigade monster you control is destroyed by battle, or an opponent's card effect, you can target one of those monsters, special summon one Skyfang Brigade monster from your deck, whose level is lower than the original level of that monster. This card is able to replace one of your Skyfang Brigade monsters with a lower level. This may seem quite a weak effect, but some of your weaker monsters may be the ones you're wanting to get to by activating this at the time your opponent has attacked. They cannot do anything about it. The final card is Dragon Airship Vandra. This is their field spell that says 1. Before you draw during your draw phase, you can add one Skyfang Brigade monster from your deck to your hand instead of drawing. 2. If you control 5 Skyfang Brigade monsters with different names, you can send this card from your field zone to the graveyard, destroy all cards your opponent controls, but your opponent takes no further damage until the end of this turn. The first effect lets you search for a Skyfang Brigade monster rather than your random draw. This adds to their consistency, as you can get exactly what you want without the risk of a bad draw. As for the second effect, this card works when you have your field full of Skyfang Brigade monsters. This is not difficult, as they are meant to swarm to get rid of all your opponent's cards, which is useful. However, the problem is your opponent may have a contingency card in their hand, and so getting rid of your entire field of monsters, considering they cannot take any damage for the remainder of the turn. There is no point of this card, unless you have either cleared their hand or know that their deck will not function. What do you think of the Skyfang Brigade deck? I like Konami's thinking of adding decks that don't need an extra deck, like the good old days, but making it special summoning enough to make it somewhat competitive. Are you planning on playing this, or are you waiting to see if they will get further support down the line? Leave your comments down below, like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, and as always, thank you for taking the time to watch this video. And